Hold on a second. What does this tattoo say?
It says Amikamea. He's looking at my arm, and I have a puzzle piece that matches a tattoo that my husband and I have with matching tattoos, which is supposed to be bad luck, but we already...
You know what's funny? Hold on a sec. Watch out. Excuse me.
Wait, do you have a matching tattoo?
Sorry, Mike.
What are you doing here?
Where'd he go?
I don't think the mouse would approve.
There he goes.
Wait, what? Get out of here.
I can't get...
What is that?
I have a puzzle piece there, too.
Do you really?
Yeah.
What?
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like this?
I have a puzzle piece.
Kind of like that?
Yeah, same thing.
Same one? Same
Yeah.
thing. You have the same puzzle piece.
Yeah, my nephew passed away, and he had that on his forearm, and so like half of my family got the puzzle piece. Yeah. So yeah. What
I think that's a good sign.
What are these, Christy? What is that?
So, well, we can talk offline on those.
Okay.
They're not track marks.
No, okay. Well,
He's looking at my forearm, so.
Is it like
I have
eczema?
other tattoos.
Is
Did
it
you know
eczema?
that? Do you have tattoos?
Like she just said, no, we're not talking about that shit.
Do you have tattoos?
I have two. Yeah,
You have two
I
tattoos?
have one on my butt and one on my calf here.
You have one on your butt?
Yeah.
No.
You know what? I need the views. Let's see it. Come on.
Come
on.
You can show the camera, so here, we'll do it this way.
Oh my God. Dude, this is too much.
Wait, I don't. It's on the
There's
other
no
side.
tattoo.
Oh yeah, it's a
Jesus.
duck.
Yeah, it's
All right.
With a phone number on it.
No, it's his
Oh,
birthday.
Dude, your
because
butt-
his dad was named Ducky.
Okay,
Don't
your
talk
butt
about his
has
butt.
way more
I know,
you got way more ass than
That
than-
was really
than
sweet.
You think you
I
did.
know, I got more hair on my
We're not gonna make nudity
God,
like a
this
thing.
dude just went straight crack.
What?
First of all,
You've never seen my butt
I
before?
appreciate that.
No, I
he
try-
will do
I
what is
don't-
asked of him, and he's always up for a challenge.
Wow. Yeah.
You do have a cute butt. You don't need any implants.
Thank you,
We were
Christy.
talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling a little self-conscious.
So actually, Ducky is your dad, and
yeah,
you just
dad's nickname, yeah.
didn't
nickname.
you just had an angel day for him a couple
Yeah,
days ago?
yeah,
Did you
the
see?
20th,
But
yeah.
did you see that I posted? I was like, hey.
I did. I
Okay,
appreciate
good.
that.
Wait, what was this? I missed
His
it.
Yeah,
dad.
it's sweet. It's not sexual, you perv.
It's his dad who passed away. It was his best friend in the whole world. Ducky. They call him Ducky. I didn't know you called him Ducky.
Yeah, I think that was after. He heard he like walked into it was just one of those weird things that stuck. He walked into an automatic door and he was limping for like a day. So we were just like, oh, you're walking like a duck.
And he's Ducky.
Yeah, and he just 20 years later.
Your dad was. I loved your dad.
I loved your dad
yeah,
too.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I didn't think about him until he just showed me your ass. And then
I know.
But that's why he has it, so that other people remember.
If you think about your dad, your dad was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
He was a sweet guy.
Don't make him cry. He was already crying with Shayna. We're not going to get him down. Poor guy stripping around.
I know.
So he passed when?
Wait, you can't. He's gonna start to get emotional. Are you okay?
It's been enough time. It's been 10 years now. God.
Okay.
Yeah, the 6/20/12. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been enough time.
Wow.
Seems like just yesterday though. It's one of those things, you know.
Oh yeah.
My
No,
dad-
I don't think there's ever enough time that passes, especially when it's someone like your parent.
I was gonna say, are your parents alive?
Yeah. I mean, my parents are fortunately still here. My dad is, I think, 84, 85. My mom is 82, 83, something like that. Both healthy, but it's also like, you know, it's
Tender
Yeah,
age.
like you just realize that it can go like that any second. My mom was just in the hospital with pneumonia, and that was scary. But you know, whenever I hear about someone younger than me that's lost a parent, I think that's one of the biggest transitions I think you can go through in life, besides losing a child, which you hope you never have, right? But like those transitions are like crazy, and I do not look forward to that moment. But I haven't. Yeah, they're still here. Yeah.
You see, my father passed. My oldest is 6, and she was alive, so I guess it was about 4 or 5 like Octobers ago. And you know, he went fast kind of thing, but painfully, because it was cancer, and he just thought he could live forever. We all thought he could live forever kind of thing. He just had that bravado. Did you ever remember Tony Romano coming on set? And
oh yeah, no, your dad.
I bet my dad would love
your
you.
dad and your brother were producing. He and I spoke at one point.
When?
Your dad and I talked.
Oh,
at
like
one
after?
point. Yeah, after the show. I
Yeah.
forget what the heck it was we talked about.
My dad was trying to do a lot of like.
There was something
He wanted to
going
be
on.
a producer,
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
later in life.
He was involved in some kind of like production or like trying to do that.
the reason why my dad always was looking for a way to make money, right? Which is the perfect producer's mentality, and in a cheap way. And so towards the end of his life, he was in Connecticut, and they all have these tax credits, these tax incentives, so that a lot of people, independent filmmakers, if they knew somebody who was able to make movies, he kind of wanted to get in on that. So that did end up happening, but I made him a producer, or like a co-producer or something on my movie that I directed. I directed a kids' Christmas movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a lot of work, and I had horrible producers.
What was the show?
It was called Christmas All Over Again, and it was actually out there. And I would love to direct, but I have the little kids right now, and it's so hard to be like, I'm gonna just steal away and take that time for myself. I didn't. It's not that I got it out of my system. It's that I'm not ready to get back to.
Yeah, you're not ready for it to consume your life.
But again. I do love it. I do love directing for sure. Where have we? I love this. We went to everywhere, and
well, so
we're back.
What is your dad? What kind of cancer do you have?
Ocular. I think it's ocular, but ocular. I don't know.
So
it was like It was this rare eye cancer that my dad had, and
that sounds terrible.
Actually, so not right after Even Stevens, but a few years after Even Stevens, he came to me, and I was in this relationship at the time, and he was like, I've got eye cancer, and I don't know what to do, and I'm scared, and I just had a pretty bad relationship with my parents at the time, so I chose the guy like over my family for a little bit. It was sad. I mean, like, I think my dad was not a perfect person, but he loved me so much, and I think like he always we were displaced, like part of having to leave the state you're from to go devote yourself. My mom and me were away from my family for like a long time. So it's like that edge of mine that we were talking about, it softened because the ties to my home became less and less. So kind of,
How did losing your dad change your life?
It made me reevaluate my relationship to death and how apathetic I've become. Yeah. Before I met my husband, I think I was numbing a lot with alcohol. And so when I was dating, I couldn't really feel anything. And like, I was just very everything felt very transactional, and I just was lost, And then another layer of that, I think, kind of mirrored back in my face was when he passed away, and I didn't know what it was like to grieve, and I didn't know what it felt like to actually experience loss. Yeah. And it's probably just because I felt I've been so privileged at so many things my whole life. So it really did. Over time. So my grief wasn't immediate. I don't know how it was with you and your dad.
No, it took a while.
Did it really?
It took.
So you were numb too?
I was numb for a good 2 years, and I didn't feel shit. And then, like, for the next 8, it was a process of ups and downs, and it just time, and eventually, you either get through it or you don't.
Yeah. You live in their memory in a way that that you carry them with you. I know that sounds really lame and cliche.
You do, but you carry their good stuff, and eventually, the bad shit dies with them.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. You allow it to die with them. Because you want to remember the good and the positive, and not the, the times where he was bitching at me, yelling at me to get my homeworks done when I was a senior and more interested in women and alcohol,
if that's the only thing he got mad at you for, then
I know that he was slacking.
Then you're pretty good.
Yeah, he wasn't looking.
I think it's hard to hang on to the bad shit, because at the end of the day, none of it really means a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like it's all, everything's so temporary that it kind of puts the bad shit in perspective.
Oh, definitely. And also, I'll tell you, I'm a huge violator of this notion. So my whole life, I've been very vengeful, and it's the same thing that, like, when I look back on Even Stevens, what I think you were asking me in another episode was, Chris, why do you feel like you need to unpack this stuff about yourself, right? Or why do you feel shame in all of that? And it's because I think there's a part of me that knows how much negativity I was holding on to, and how much, like, I don't know if it was entitlement, but just there was confusion about, the stories I was telling myself, right, about my experience. So I just think that, like, where you're coming at is where I'm finally coming to understand after having kids and stuff, where I'm like, I'm really here for a split second. And I think having kids, for me, was what really got me to see that's very finite. There's a very finite amount of time.
Yeah.
So every time that you're holding on to something, as comfortable as it feels to hold on to the negativity, and as safe as it feels to be angry, at least for me, it's so much more empowering to learn how to let it go.
For me, it was honestly the complete opposite, because it's almost like, well, when Dad died, it's almost like, well, shit, man, I've had a great life. I've accomplished so much. I've made more money than the both of them combined.
Yeah.
I've, been to more places than, them than they ever were. So it's like, man, if I died tomorrow, I've literally done more than most people 90% of the people on this planet already.
What did if you don't mind me asking, and you don't have to share, obviously, but what did your dad, how did he die?
Cancer also.
Cancer too.
Esophageal,
Wow, that's rare too, no?
Yeah, it's rare because he never smoked a day in his life ever. He wasn't a smoker.
Was it quick, or did it last a while?
It lasted about a year.
That's actually pretty quick.
It wasn't, and it wasn't really bad until like the last probably 3 months. It wasn't.
Yeah, isn't it horrible?
Oh, those last 3 months are fucked up. Yeah.
We should put a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't. I mean, that's in a weird way. It's almost a blessing, because cancer lets you know you have a limited amount of time with this person, right? But then it's also like the most miserable way for anyone to go. I mean,
because they're like your superhero. They're this force that's
true.
Supposed to have that S on their chest, and especially cancer. Watching them just almost rot away like that, it's tough.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we're having uplifting conversations,
I know, right?
guys. Hey, thanks so much for watching this clip of Even More Stevens podcast. If you'd like to catch the full episode, go to our Even More Stevens Pod YouTube channel by clicking the link in the description. And for exclusive bonus weekly content, join our Patreon now. Just click the link below. Thanks for tuning in.